Welcome to Lesson 2, Safety and Emergency Response Training. Now that you've completed general awareness training, you need to know how to react in an emergency involving hazardous material. In this section, we're going to follow the material presented in the North American Emergency Response Guidebook. This guidebook is designed primarily for use by emergency services personnel who may be the first to arrive at the scene of a transportation incident. When on the road, all drivers should have in their possession a copy of the guidebook and the shipping papers for the commodities being transported. These items should either be in the side door pocket or immediately beside the driver in an easily accessible location. This training session covers safety issues and how to properly use the North American Emergency Response Guidebook. By the end of this training, you will be able to understand the importance of safety when a hazardous material accident occurs. Identify a North American guide number given a particular HM, proper shipping name, identification number or a placard, understand when authorities must be notified, and utilize the table of initial isolation and protective action distances. So here we go. Let's begin with safety precautions during a hazardous material emergency. Safety is everyone's responsibility. During an emergency, it is your responsibility, if you are involved in an accident or you arrive on the scene of one, to provide proper safeguards for your personal safety as well as others in the area. To do this, there are a number of precautions you must follow. Approach cautiously from upwind. Resist the urge to rush in. Others cannot be helped until the situation has been fully assessed. Secure the scene. Without entering the immediate hazard area, isolate the area and assure the safety of people and the environment. Keep people away from the scene and outside the safety perimeter. Allow enough room to move and remove your own equipment. Identify the hazards. Placards, container labels, and shipping documents are valuable information sources. Evaluate all information and consult the recommended guide to reduce immediate risk. This step of identifying the hazard will be covered later in this lesson. Assess the situation. When doing so, you should consider the following. Is there a fire, a spill, or a leak? What are the weather conditions? What is the terrain like? Who or what is at risk? Are people, property, or the environment at risk? What actions should be taken? Is an evacuation necessary? What can be done immediately? Obtain help. Advise your headquarters to notify responsible agencies and call for assistance from qualified personnel. Decide on a site entry. Any efforts made to rescue persons, protect property, or the environment must be weighed against the possibility that you could become part of the problem. Respond. By assessing the situation first, you now have the information in front of you to give the appropriate authorities to set in motion a predetermined response for that particular hazardous material. During your assessment, you must be able to identify the hazard and properly use the North American Emergency Guidebook to provide the proper emergency response. Familiarization of the guidebook will help keep the potential damage to persons, property, and the environment to a minimum. Above all, do not walk into or touch spilled material. Avoid inhalation of fumes, smoke, and vapors. Even if no hazardous materials are known to be involved, do not assume that gases or vapors are harmless because of a lack of a smell. Here's how to use the North American Guidebook during an incident involving dangerous materials. This guidebook is divided into 4 sections. The first section, with the yellow border, is the index by 4-digit ID numbers. The second, bordered by blue, is an index of proper shipping names listed alphabetically. Both the yellow and blue sections are used to find the 3-digit guide number that is to be used in Section 3. Section 3, bordered by orange, is used for identifying the potential hazards, public safety precautions, and emergency response information. The fourth section, bordered by green, is the Table of Initial Isolation and Protective Action Distances. This section is indexed by the 4-digit ID number. Step 1 is to identify the material. When identifying the material, you are looking for its 4-digit ID number or its proper shipping name. This is done by finding one of the following: the 4-digit ID number on a placard, the 4-digit number on a shipping document or package, or the name of the material on a shipping document or package. Step 2 uses the 4-digit ID number or the proper shipping name to find a 3-digit guide number. If you have obtained the 4-digit ID number, you will turn to the yellow bordered pages of the guidebook to locate the 3-digit guide number. If you have the proper shipping name, you will turn to the blue border section to find the guide number. Once you obtain the 3-digit guide number, turn to the numbered guide section bordered by orange of the guidebook to obtain the response information. Note that in the first 2 indexes, the yellow and blue sections are highlighted entries. If the index entry is highlighted, turn to the Table of Initial Isolation and Protective Action Distances bordered by green and locate the ID number and proper shipping name. Follow the directions in this guide first. If directed to do so, begin the protective action measures immediately as outlined in this table. When you cannot locate the 4-digit ID number or the proper shipping name, and the placard is visible on the vehicle, turn to a table of placards on pages 16 and 17 in the guidebook. Identify the placard and the 3-digit number associated with that placard. Then, turn to that 3-digit number guide section in the book and follow the response directions. Let's take a look at the 3-digit number guide section. The first guide is number 111. This section contains the basic precautions and hazards for mixed loads or unidentified cargo. This guide is also used for loads placarded dangerous. Dangerous goods contain 2 or more Table 2 commodities on a particular vehicle. Guide 112 covers most of the explosive divisions and classes. Although all the guides are laid out the same way, the information differs depending on the type of material. The first section on potential hazards is divided into 2 sections: fire or explosion and health. The second section is public safety. This guide specifies that the first responder should call the emergency response telephone number on the shipping paper first. If the shipping paper is not available or there is no answer, refer to the appropriate telephone number listed on the inside back cover of this guidebook. The inside back cover lists emergency response phone numbers for Canada, the United States, and Mexico. In the United States, there are 7 sets of numbers listed. For all contacts, there is an 800 number and an area code listed number. All except collect calls. These phones are staffed 24 hours a day by experts in hazardous material response. Required emergency response information must be available for use away from the package of hazardous materials. This information may be found on the shipping paper or in a material safety data sheet that accompanies the shipping paper. Material safety data sheets are available from material manufacturers, and an example is also included in your workbook. You have just completed Lesson 2. Stop the video now and take Test 2.